All right. Welcome, everybody. We'll call to order the Workforce Housing Advisory Board. Today's March 27th, 2025. We'll do roll call, and if there's any conflicts of interest, please make that noted as we go.
Mr. Overhue?
Present.
Mr. Allred?
Present.
Ms. Dowds?
Present.
Mrs. Kinnig?
Present.
Mr. Meeks?
Here.
Mr. Russ?
Here.
Mr. James? And then myself and Alex Koenig, the Community Development Director.
All right. Can we certify compliance with Resolution 2025-01?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's terrific. You have the agenda before you. Seek any input or discussion around the agenda or a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second in stereo. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, the same. Seeing none. Approval of the minutes. The minutes of the previous meeting are in your packet. Also will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second. Any discussion around the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposition, the same? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. New business. I'm going to bet this is Alex's role. So, Alex?
It is, and I think I'm much more informed than I was the last time I was here.
Hey, you were a little.
It was kind of like, yeah, I'm here, but I don't know anything. So with 603 Meacham, we have made a lot of progress in the last few months, but there's still a lot of progress that needs to happen. So all of the units have been moved into place onto their pads. The home manufacturer is going through all the units that are placed to get them ship shape after their journey here to Ruidoso. With that, we have the first two on the site closest to Meacham are really in the best shape. And in fact, if there's anybody that would like to go in there, we can try to figure out how we can make arrangements to do that as well. I don't know yet if we're planning on, I'm anticipating we're going to have a community open house for that. Hopefully you're all hearing the same things that we're hearing in regard to people thinking it's looking better than they expected out there. And I think that's also true for the people that are here on staff and the elected officials as well, that we're pretty pleased with how that's coming along. Utilities are also coming in. Water's in pretty good shape. The gas, they're starting to connect those. Where we're running into issues is with PNM getting the electric installed. That's right now where our major pinch point is with getting them on site to, well, not even on site, but approving plans and also then getting on site with that. We also are working to get fencing for both perimeter fencing and then also, I guess I'll call it safety fencing for the around the pad sites where there would be a potential, or not a potential, but a drop off from the ground level to where the home is actually placed. So we're working on getting that done, and then also working with getting quotes and for landscaping plans and for installation of landscaping. On that, so that project is moving along. Any question? Oh, but yes, and I can also fill you in from the questions that we had from before. I just spoke with Kylie over at Berkshire Hathaway. They're the ones that are managing the project for us, the rental part. We have 28 folks that are on the wait list at this point in time. It is going to be first come, first serve kind of situation on how they're going to move through that. And so typically what she said is when we get the green light to start, I guess, pre-leasing, they'll call up the first 10 people on the list and say, here's the situation. Are you interested? And then as they get accepted, they'll move on from there. Unfortunately, I don't really have a good solid update on when move-in dates might be. A lot of that's because of the uncertainty around PNM's going to be able to be here to get their, get the power installed so that we can turn it on. So that's where that is. So unfortunately, we keep pushing that out a little bit more and a little bit more.
Do you know what the reason for PNM's delay is? Have you heard?
They have not been responsive.
Okay.
And beyond that, yes, kind of where I'll leave it, I guess, from the standpoint of, so our project manager, Levi Beatty, has been having some difficulty getting in contact with that. And then occasionally, the Mike Martinez has maybe a bit more better luck sometimes, but not always. Yeah.
Okay.
Is the underground utilities already installed, or is that the deal? Everything's got to get dug and put in, so. and that
Everything's gotta get
affects our
dug in.
Infrastructure as well, then with roads and
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
stuff.
Take another month.
Yes, it does. It does, because that was also in the update with our capital projects this morning, the widening the access to the site from Meacham, because even just this morning, I live over there in one of the existing cabins over there, and a work truck was trying to come in, and it's a pickup truck, but there wasn't enough space for the two of us to navigate it together in that. So even getting that done is also, until PNM is done with getting big equipment in there, yeah, we're not going to do that widening yet. So it's kind of, yeah.
Do you know if the wiring in that area, is it planned to be underground, or is it going to be overhead?
It'll be underground.
Okay. Okay.
You would think somehow, because of what we're trying to do here, they would put it on a priority list. I don't know if that helps to put the bug in their ear. But we're only trying to improve our community. It's not like
Yes, exactly. Trying
landlords
to
trying to make
improve the community and also to add another 10 households to their, yeah.
I can imagine that after the South Fork and Salt fires and just the intensity of the repairs to utilities, there may be some follow-up on that would impact this project. I'm also curious, I know that this project received a boost in funding from the state, specifically the governor's office. All of the work remaining is already funded, is that correct?
I believe we have a budget for what we are looking to spend on that, but also in talking with Levi today as well, because of cost increases, there may be some
Issues?
value engineering maybe that we might need to do, or coming up with additional funds. Yeah, on that, because costs continue to go up with some materials. Particularly the fencing was the one that we were talking today, that's coming in higher than we anticipated. Part of the reason on that being the existing split rail fence in front of the Rock House. The plan was to just extend that. Well, when the people went out to look at it, they said, you just need to replace that fence. Because it was at one time a 3-rail fence on there, and it also sounds like it was not it's served its useful life on that. So that's a bit of a bump in cost that we didn't necessarily plan for.
Okay. Any other questions?
Another comment, you made a reference of a tour. Let me revisit that, because I know there's more than one individual on this committee that would very much like a tour.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I would see if you want to do it as a group, was that what I'm hearing perhaps?
That'd be fine.
Okay, we'll see how we can make that work. Out there. One of the things that I do know as well is they don't yet have the permanent steps out there, and so for even the most spry young people getting in and out of those units without those is a difficult thing. Yeah. So, but they were discussing that this week when we got together on Tuesday morning about having a more easy way to get in and out of the units, for folks, so, yeah.
They usually give you those when you buy the home.
They do, but for one reason or another, they haven't brought them yet. And I think it might be because it's that's probably one of those last things that they want to do, just so that we don't have, I'll use the phrase looky-loos in there that are just looking to climb up on there and to have a look around. Yeah. Anything else on 603?
Comments? No one? All right, we'll move on to Elk Meadows.
Okay, Elk Meadows. So the update that we got on that today is they are close. They have gotten their building permits approved by the state for that. They are waiting on closing. They still have, let me see where my notes were. They still have one of the environmental groups still has to do a sign-off, was my recollection on that. And so they're waiting for that to be released. The date they said on that was April 7th, I believe is what they'd said. And then it will go through the system, get to the bank, the lenders. And so they have to, so where that ends up with is once they get all of those, once they get their closing done is when they'll be ready to do groundbreaking on that. And so that was something that even as soon as a couple weeks ago, we were anticipating that being around April 10th. So that's likely going to be probably, I would estimate, late April on that. Same kind of deal from the standpoint, if there is some kind of event for that, we'll be sure that we'll wrangle some invitations for y'all to be there for that.
How many units is that going to be again?
72.
72, okay.
Very nice.
72 units there. And yeah, I think that's everything on that. Construction period on that, I think I'm not going to go out there. Probably we'll be aiming for late 26, early 27 for occupancy on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable. Any questions, comments? No? All right, let's talk about 1114 Meacham.
I think the only update for 1114 Meacham, it continues to be fully leased, and there is some turnover in the occupants there. Also, we are going to be budgeting for a screening fence from the golf course to that property. And so I'm not exactly sure on the details on where we are with that, but I know that it's in the works to add that additional, I would say, privacy for those residents in there as well. Yeah.
Not for golf balls, it's more.
That's
private.
what I was.
I think it's more for golf, for the privacy part of things. Yeah.
So how is the roads in there held up? I know we haven't had a whole lot of snow this winter, but are they
I've
holding up
not
pretty
heard good. I've not heard good, bad, or indifferent in there. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, those units were, the tenants had an option to purchase those, is that correct? And has anybody purchased them?
Not that I'm
There
aware
was,
of.
was it still an option for them to,
I don't think it was an option, I can research that.
okay,
Yeah, I don't think on those.
I don't think it was on those either.
Yeah.
okay,
That was some of our original charter stuff.
Yeah.
okay.
Those
And we'd
were,
love to get back to that point, so.
those were strictly done to alleviate the situation from the
exactly.
McBride fire. I mean, that was the whole intent of that development, so, okay. All right. Well, is there anything else we need to go over, Alex, that you got for us, or?
I was thinking that there was, but so I guess maybe I'm confident that most of you pay attention to general things happening in the village. We are next week implementing the updated ordinance for the short-term rentals in there, and we will also be going to the council for approval of an upgraded software system for that, knowing to better manage the program, but also to have better information for the public about what's going on with short-term rentals and how to contact those people. And then also having a 24/7 monitored call line that will be able to respond to issues and integrated in with our dispatch as well. So to dispatch, if necessary, with that. Knowing that there is some relationship between short-term rentals and housing affordability and workforce housing here in the region. With that, just to keep you apprised of that as well.
Any other projects that we've got lined out that there's on the thinking table or anything, so,
There may be something in the offing.
okay.
At state level, we had to fight really hard on accessory dwelling units this year. And, the reason is I'm an affordable housing proponent, believe it. But what they were trying to do is say that any Tom, Dick, or Harry could break ground in the back corner of their house at Alto, at the Outlaw, or wherever it is. They said HOAs, municipalities cannot stand in the way and build a minimum 1,200 square foot structure. So people that ascribe to, quiet peace, enjoyment, all those things, they bought into those subdivisions for a certain amount, and to ruin that wasn't right. So that was a really hard struggle. We also introduced a memorandum this year with the tax assessors. I don't know if you were aware of what was going on there, but they've been they planned on January 1st to introduce across the entire state, any type of Airbnb would automatically turn to a non-residential, which means they can charge about 3% more of mill rate onto the tax bill. And so we're trying to work on that as well and so the bill did get put on hold, and with the memorandum, we created a work group with lots of legislators, and so we'll be working through that this summer and trying to come up with some sort of deal to address the Airbnbs, other than the way that the assessors wish to do it, because we really don't feel that they are non-residential because they're being used for Airbnb, so.
Did both those bills fail?
No, they both went away, thank God, yeah. That's where
Interesting.
we're successful, is we can get things lost in committee, that's about the best we can do. So,
Yeah, those,
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
those bills were, parts of them were well-intentioned, however, their methods were not.
exactly, right, there's a
Well
lot
thought
of
out.
bad things in there.
Okay.
We also did, in January, the council did pass the updated Chapter 54 of the zoning land use code as well, which had some changes in there in regard to setbacks and more clear-cut what uses are allowed in what districts. So we, instead of having to look in each district to see what's allowed there, we actually will have a use chart, which is going to be helpful, I think, for all of us in there. So that will, we still have some editorial things to get worked out, so hopefully that will also be official in the next few weeks.
In some communities, I'm hearing that they're requiring charging units to be installed in garages on new homes. That's here as well?
No. So what we are for the building code for electric vehicles. Is that what you're asking? The take that we've had with that is that we are requiring them to install the receptacle for it, but not to actually install the
Okay,
charger.
so we save about $8,000 or something by not doing the whole deal. That's good.
Yep.
Okay, but yeah, that's a new requirement.
Yeah. That was the interpretation that our building official
good.
took, and I think that's a reasonable stand to do in there because. Yes, it is. And so if someone wants to install that charger because they will actually use it,
It's ready to go.
it's ready to go, but not to spend the additional thousands of dollars for something that, for now, a small fraction of the populace is using.
And the technology will change in 5 years anyway. You'll need a different plug.
Right.
Very interesting.
So last fall, was it, Ethan Linder was working on some pad sites for mobile homes out in the Downs. Do we know anything about that? Is that?
I have not heard any additional news or updates on that project, except that he was pursuing that zoning change.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can follow up on
Yeah, I'd like
Yeah.
to know if
Okay.
they've made any progress
Yeah.
or decided not to do it, or I don't know.
There is that PUD in the Downs, you know, across from Walmart where they changed a lot of the stuff. There, it was zoned now for multi-use, lots of, you can have commercial buildings, condominiums, senior living, affordable housing. So it's a nice little chunk there, a few hundred acres. We've gone back and forth. We've involved ourselves with it several times, but hasn't gone anywhere.
Is it back above the shopping center?
Yeah, I brought that guy to meet you once.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if it was that piece of
Yeah.
land, so, okay. Yeah.
So he's planning to go full force again this spring. And they're opening up some other stuff up there too, which is Pinion Ridge, I guess. They're trying to maybe build some houses up even higher.
Where's Pinon Ridge?
Kind of behind Close Street, between there and
Okay.
Walmart, in that area.
That's a lot.
Anybody else? No? Well, if there's nothing else to come before, anything from our guest that's attending? Thank you for being here, I appreciate that, so.
I live in Santa Fe, but exact same conversation. Same problem.
So, all right, then we will be, as Clayton tells me, don't ask, just do it. Adjourn.
That's it.